Hello Year 5 and welcome back after the holidays. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves and kept active. So for our PE lesson today, we are going to be focusing on climbing. Climbing can be part of our national curriculum for outdoor adventurous activities. But we can do this outdoor or we can do this indoor today. We're going to be focusing on our coordination, our flexibility, and our balance. So all you will need today is I am going to use some hands and some feet to pop on the floor. You may want to use a couple of jumpers, or I've got some cones, some discs, anything that you can put your hands onto and your feet onto safely. So you may want to go and get different pairs of socks. You may want to put some shorts down. You may want to put jumpers down. But you need to have, say, 6 items of one and 6 items of the other. So off you go, please, Year 5, pause the video and go and get your equipment, please. So Year 5, we are going to be focusing on some problem solving through some horizontal climbing. And how we are going to do that is, as you can see on the floor, I've set up my hands and feet. You may want to set it up with your socks and jumpers. It doesn't matter, anything you can spread out onto the floor. So if you can now set up in a safe area, you'll need quite a large space, and set it up where you can put your hands and feet down. Remember, you can't put them too far away, otherwise you won't be able to reach. So have a go at setting that up for Mr. Kavanagh now, please. So pause the video, Year 5. And welcome back, Year 5. So, for our first activity today, we're going to get quickly warmed up. You may be able to see I have shapes of hands and shapes of feet on the floor. Remember, you may well use a jumper, you may be using your own socks, a pair of shorts, whatever you want to use. So our first activity is, we can only walk on the feet, or one part you may be using your socks. So I want us to be stepping onto our socks. You may need to reach depending on where you're having to go, all the way through, and back. Then try and challenge yourself to maybe do it quicker. How quick can you do it? And down. Now try and remember, try not to use something that you may slip on. Okay, because if it's wet underneath, if you're on a hard floor, you may slide, so you've got to be really careful. Your second little warm-up activity, okay, will be to move the feet around, so you're challenging yourselves, a little bit of a different one, different activity, okay, and can you hop from one foot to the other, and push yourself off all the way through, okay? So have a go at that little activity, pause the video, and have a go. Off you go, Year 5. Well done, Year 5. So our next little progression is, you may have your socks down on the floor. Hopefully you've got different colours. So try and mix up the colours of socks that you are using. For our next little progression is, you can only use, or you only can touch with your feet, the same colour socks. So I'm going to show you now with my yellow socks, discs, jumpers, whatever you want to use. So now I'm having to use my stepping, I'm always going on to the same colour. So now you need to lay out different coloured socks in the area, and you need to be stepping on the correct colour socks that you choose. So if you choose, for example, red socks, you can only stand on red. If you choose purple, you can only choose purple. So have a go at that, please. Pause the video, Year 5. Well done. So this time you should have different pieces of equipment out. We're now going to introduce our hands, and we're going to use, I've got the hands down on the floor, you may use shorts, anything you want, and we're going to use them as handholds, something to hold on to whilst we are climbing. But we also need to be able to only put our feet down on, for example, our socks. So our next little activity is, I can only put my feet down, but I also can only put my hands down. So I've got my hand, foot, and then I'm reaching out from the hand, moving my feet, and moving my hands, and moving my feet, and moving my hands to get to the other side. Okay? If that's too easy, you may need to spread out, so challenge yourself, spread out your equipment, so you're really having to reach and stretch and be flexible using your body. Okay? So, a little recap there. Hands onto hands, feet onto maybe your socks, okay? And you're having to get from one side to the other using your feet and hands, okay? Have a go at that, please, Year 5, and pause the video. Well done, Year 5. So let's recap that again. I would like you to keep practicing it, but I want you to think about how many body parts should be touching the floor at one time. So we'd like to, when we are climbing, using 4 body parts. But if we think about it, we need to be able to move. So if I've got 4 body parts down, so I've got my feet, my hands, I'm going to have to move one hand to start with, and then I've got 3 and I go to 4. I move my foot and slowly does it. So have another go at that, remembering that you need 4 body parts, always touching, and then when we move, we will go down to 3. So keep focusing, making sure that you're always in control of your body when climbing. So have another go, please. Pause the video. Well done, Year 5. So for our next challenge in climbing, I would like us to put some obstacles down. So you may want to put some teddies down. You may want to put some little cushions down if you are allowed from your sofa. And then you're having to use your body to try and maneuver and get over them obstacles. So you are not touching them. So if you're having to concentrate, putting feet onto socks, hands down, where's my next foot? And it might be over, without touching anything. I'm having to really extend my legs out and hands down. So this time, try and put some obstacles in the way. So have a go at that, please. Remember, we need to try and use and stretch our bodies out as far as we can. So if we want to challenge ourselves, we set our hands, our socks, and the other piece of equipment further away. If you're struggling with that, remember you can make it smaller. So have a go at that, please, Year 5. Pause the video, please. And last but not least, Year 5, you may want to have a little challenge with your partner who you are working with at home, maybe your parents, and you can work on a little bit of a listening skill activity. So we may have something that can blindfold us. You may want to just wrap a little jump around or a t-shirt, but you need to be in a safe area, and you need to follow the instructions your partner gives you. So they may have, you may be blindfolded, you may have your feet down, and they may say, your hand needs to go to the right. How far right? So you can learn communication skills, listening and feeling, okay? So feel for stuff to see if you're nearly there. It's just a little challenge and you may want to swap with your partner. So I hope you've explored in today's activity. Remember, we need to use 4 points of our body at all times. Unless we are moving, then we go down to 3. And just try and use your body in different ways to move around safely on our little climbing activity. So if you can create your own little activity and you want to introduce it to your family, that would be great. So well done today, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you very much.